So my name is Scott Sorrell. I'm an anthropology graduate student from Cornell University, and I'm here in Bangalore conducting fieldwork for my dissertation. I heard about the course, I think an announcement came through this Bangalore Research Network Google group, and I was interested because the topic, geographies of the city and desire, is very closely tied to my own research project, which is on queer spaces for intimacy within Bangalore. So I thought this would be a great way to think about method and think about who else might be doing work similar to mine. And it's given me a lot of new ideas for how I'm going to approach my own research. So I feel that it was really useful for me in a lot of ways. Well, I wasn't really sure what to expect, but I think that it's been really great. Everyone, the kind of level of conversation is really refreshing. I mean, I think that everybody is thinking deeply about the issues that the course raised, and I think the instruction has been really great also. It's nice to be in a seminar environment where there's quite a high level of conversation going on about questions I'm already thinking about, but thinking about on my own. So it was nice to enter into conversation, and then to have these film clips as a kind of common text for us to discuss. So I think that worked really well. We had the concept to think about how people present themselves differently in different spaces, and this notion of what is the authentic Bangalore. And our project ended up being a conversation on WhatsApp between two people who met on Tinder, a foreign person and an Indian who has been living here for a while, and kind of comparing the different social spaces that they go to and how they see people in the city, and through that to talk about maybe how people have expectations about what real Bangalore is versus the kind of everyday experience of the city. So it was a silly kind of project, but it was also a lot of fun because it helped us to see that you don't have to beat someone over the head with your concept, right? Like about authenticity. You can present it in a fun way and still touch on these really complicated questions. I don't know much about making film, but the kind of cinematic conventions that we've discussed are really useful, particularly this notion of giving oneself constraints in the project. So with Paramita's film about the toilet, she said, I'm really just going to follow the toilet and see where that takes me and what narratives that opens up. Because if I find that it's easy to just sort of get overwhelmed and you see everything and everything is interesting. And so to kind of think about what narrative you want to tell as much as the concepts behind it is quite useful, and I think it will help me in my own research. And doing the project, the kind of final project of these 3 days, has been a good exercise in just producing something and not worrying about whether it's perfect or being afraid of what you should do, but just making something and having fun and seeing that kind of creative process as a fun project, I think has helped me to just get out there and experience Bangalore without overthinking everything that I'm doing and then seeing the city differently. Well, for me, I guess the one thing that maybe didn't work was just a lot of the Hindi film songs from the 50s. Like my Hindi is not very good, and I wasn't quite sure what was going on in them. So maybe someone who has more of a knowledge of the history of modern Indian cinema would know more. But I really enjoyed this first film that we watched, In the Mood for Love. I mean, it's just brilliantly shot and acted. And our discussion of the kind of technical aspects of the film and how those work to actually convey the conceptual, the concepts behind the film, the tying together form and content, which I think Paramita did really well in her explanation. That was really useful, and I think something really exciting. That sounds good too. If I am able to, I would like to participate in more courses like this. I think they work for me on the level of I'm learning something, and I'm also seeing how these concepts are being employed and taught and talked about here, which is, useful for me to think about how I want to present my work. And I'm learning something and having fun too. So I feel like just a win-win situation for me. I definitely hope that I'll be back. IIHS, everyone here has been very friendly, and it's a great facility, and just I felt very welcomed. So I hope that I can participate in more while I'm here in Bangalore.